Huntler. What you want him to do is that guy's going to follow your quarterback wherever he goes and make sure that from B gap to B gap, he's keeping him contained and not letting him break contain, because as you saw that last game, those quarterbacks were like to run outside. And you also better have a good nose guard. They run a 3-4. There's their nose guard right there, Jason Brunswick, 6'2", 220-pound senior. Once again, if you control the center of the line, that's going to take away the running between the tackles from their quarterback and make him do something he doesn't want to do. And Connor Stanley is a special quarterback.
And if Marion Local gets any type of lead at all, I would have to assume it would be tough to get back in on that defense.
It's a very sound defense, and you know the Coach Ferris from Trimble, noticed this team speed of Marion Local, and he said, for us offensively, we can't simulate their speed in practice. We have to very quickly assimilate and catch up to them because Marion Local is so good across the board defensively.
And that's why those quarterbacks, they like to run normally between the tackles, because when you have a fast defense, it doesn't make any sense to run out wide because you're running to their strength. They can run you in angles. That's what they want to do.
Okay, well, we'll see how Marion Local's defense ends up doing tonight in the Division VII State Championship. As I mentioned earlier, it's new. This is the first time ever we break ground tonight in D7, and it will go down in Paul Brown Tiger Stadium in Massillon, as we'll see who gets the final trophy here as we're following up, guys. I mean, have you caught your breath yet after that unbelievable Moeller game?
You know, there's such high expectations on these two football teams. How do you possibly follow up what Moeller and Menor just did? But we've got Trimble, we've got their community, we've got the Mohawk Mafia here. If anybody could do it, it's these guys.
And then you throw in Adam Berkey and Connor Stanley, two of the top quarterbacks. This will be awesome.
All right, we have much more coming up here as we get set for the D7 State Championship game tonight from the Hyundai Studios, as we are going to continue on our pregame show. It's next after this timeout on Sports Time Ohio. And we go flashback time 2011 as Marion Local gets it done. Jake Heintkamp for the touchdown. And then, guys, how about this interception? Remember this? Trevor Holman?
Yeah, this was an outstanding play. And he keeps his feet, and then just keeps going. Marion Local, this is a, you know, I know this is 2 years ago, Chad, but this is a perfect example of what to expect because the teams all are the same. The names change, but the Flyers are the Flyers.
Right, it's just like reinsert the person. I mean, it's another community. We talked about Coldwater and what Kirtland's turned into. It's a community where the kids want to grow up to be like their idols who are high school kids, which I love. I really love that if you're a youngster and they're the idol. I digress though as we look here at the chance to now go for three. Every team that had a chance to repeat so far did. We just saw Moeller do it. St. Vincent St. Mary did it on Thursday. Clinton Massey did it yesterday. Coldwater did it today. Unbelievable to think all 5 of the 6 state champs back from last year have done it already except one, and that's Marion Local has the chance to do it tonight. And as Matt mentioned earlier, they have a chance to do it for the 3rd straight time, and Marion Local, the only team here that has that ability to go champ, champ, champ. And Coach, when you I want to go back to what I just talked about there. It is a program where the kids grow up to want to get to this point, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now they're here, and the thing they have to realize, they know already how hard it is to repeat because they repeated last year. And I don't want to say they get complacent, but now they got to find a different way to motivate themselves. We repeated already, okay? That's something hard to do. So if I'm them, I look at it this way. We're going to be the first Division VII championship. That should be my goal, my motivation. I'm not going to look at it as 3 in a row because I get complacent. I'm going to go out there and say, hey, I want to be the first Division VII champion in Ohio history, so at least we have something to be historical about.
I love that point. That's a great point. And then when you look at Trimble, Ryan, you're talking about a team I mentioned earlier, their team phrase, hold the rope. It's about support. And coming from Athens County and, you know, only 238 students and the Mohawk Mafia, which you're now a part of. I mean, it's unbelievable to think what they have been able to accomplish. And I think I'm okay in saying that they're the underdog.
There's no question about it, they're the underdog. In fact, anybody in Division VII who's played Marion Local this year has been the underdog. That being said, Trimble has something that you can't quantify, you can't put it in a program and read about it, and that's heart. And that's teamwork, and that's what holding the rope is all about. And when you see Trimble take the field tonight, you'll notice one thing about the Tomcats. There's a lot of small players out there, but they're scrappy and they're physical. Now, the key for the Tomcats is going to be catch up with that team speed I talked about at Marion Local, and make sure when you hit them, you bring them down. You can't afford to let negative plays from Marion Local turn into positives.
And I'll tell you what, I don't think the Tomcats want to be anything but underdogs tonight. They relish that role. They want to be that role. That makes them hungry.
And Coach, coaching standpoint, when you've been here before and you haven't, how much of a difference is that? Not on the players, but on the coaches.
Well, again, the coaches, the big thing is the preparation. Is how you preparation, how things are different. A different time of day, different routines, and that's the only thing that really changes. Between the white lines, it's football, baby.
The only thing that you couldn't prepare for if you're Marion Local is the fact that I joined the Mohawk Mafia here before the game.
And you could follow us all on Twitter tonight and follow along. Hashtag OH. Oh, man. I wasn't ready for that. OH Champs. I'm Dave Chudowski for the Mohawk Mafia and Ryan Kavanaugh, Coach Bill Powers. We enjoyed it. We'll see you at halftime. Trimble, Marion Local next on Sports Time Ohio. Matt Underwood, Frank Stams have the call. Yeah, break through it, baby. I love it. High school football in Ohio, nothing like it.
Formation now this time. Play action fake. Look out. They go to the screen. Guttamolla's got a convoy in front of him. He won't be touched. Into the end zone he goes. And the Flyers strike first. A 20-yard screen pass for the touchdown.
The first of two Marion Local touchdowns in this low-scoring affair so far in the first half of the Division VII State Championship. Marion Local up 13-0 over Trimble as we only have one half of football left to play in these 7 state championship games over 3 days. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Wayside Furniture Halftime Report. Wayside Furniture. Better furniture, price lower. Dave Chudowski with you here in the Hyundai Studios. Coach Powers, Ryan Kavanaugh. Guys, what do you think of this first half? Coach, I'm going to send it over to you. Do you think it's a sense of one team playing with more urgency than the other, but the one not playing with a ton of urgency seems to be the team that's winning?
Yeah, I'm watching Marion Local out there, and it seems like they're a little bit complacent. They're not putting any sense of urgency, any bit of tempo. Their tempo's kind of even slow. And then you look at Trimble on the other hand, that's clearly a team who is playing with their hair on fire right now. Every single play is important to them. They just don't match up talent-wise, but emotion-wise and fire and want to, I think they are exceeding what Marion Local's doing right now.
Yeah, the hair on fire because of the red Mohawks. That's what I was just talking about. But I agree with you, and here's the key for Marion Local. Yes, they're winning the football game. I think personally they could run the ball on Trimble all the way up and down the field, and they've done a lot of passing, try to mix it in. Also important, when you're playing a team like Trimble who thrives on emotion, who is here on an emotional upswing, and clearly they're the underdog in this game, you don't want them to hang around, and right now they are.
Well, Coach Goodwin said that his team left a touchdown probably on the field there, and we'll see if that plays a factor later on, if Trimble can get any momentum. Let's take a look at the first half highlights and see how we have gotten to this point. And guys, this is a great play, a great design right here. J.C. Guttamuller getting it from Adam Berkey, don't you think?
Yeah, that's a phenomenal play call right there. The backside throwback screen, the defense all flowed to the right side. There was nobody there to block on the left side.
And that made it 7-0. This is a mistake here for Trimble, guys, because they could have gotten some points on the board to let that happen. Not a good idea.
Connor Stanley, 2-time All-Stater, trying to make something happen, but when you're in the red zone, you have to be extra specially careful with the football.
Yeah, that might hurt there. And then Guttamuller here with the fumble, and it's recovered by Trimble. I mean, really, so far with these highlights, besides the touchdown, things going Trimble's way.
They sure are. The only problem is they're all happening in their own red zone, and of course, the big guy, Adam Berkey, right at the end of the half. That's a tough one for Trimble because they're getting the ball in the second half, guys. They were down 1 score.
Yeah, because if you think about it there, it was only 7-0, and that happened just before halftime, and they made some key plays, some great catches, too. There's been a lot of great catches in this game.
The receivers did a great job of using their hands, holding on to the ball if they're getting hit. And the thing is, they play with a faster tempo that time. That drive was a fast tempo, and they need to come out in the second half and go with that same tempo. Otherwise, they're going to be in for a dogfight.
Berkey leading the way for Marion Local. We'll talk more about him as we go on here in the halftime show. But let's talk about some key plays from the first half. And we're going to go back to that fumble, guys. What happens here?
Well, first of all, he gets secured and then he gets hit from behind. So anytime you get hit, and J.C. Guttamuller, the running back, and then it's the backside pursuit, helmet on the football, pops it loose. And then, Coach, you didn't like this call.
No, not at all. Usually when you get a turnover, you always look for the big play, the big swing. But you always got to be aware you're at in the line. Okay, you want to be in the plus yardage, which means your 50-yard line going in, not inside your own 15, 20-yard line. That was a case of maybe trying to do, playing outside yourself, trying to make something happen that wasn't there.
So you would have liked that play if it would have been more around midfield or maybe even the 40 either way, but deep in territory like that, bad idea.
Because you're going backwards. Anytime you do a reverse that, you're going at least 10, 12 yards backwards, and they went from 1st and 10 to 2nd and 18, and it just was a bad decision, I think.
So Trimble's got to clean up some mistakes there. The flip for the interception, that play there after the fumble, they start cleaning things up. They can be in this game in the second half. We have much more to come here on the Wayside Halftime Show here from downtown Cleveland, Hyundai Studios. We will take a look at the key players so far in the first half. 13-0, Marion Local in the lead. We'll be back right after this timeout on Sports Time Ohio.
Again, inside the 15. 12 balls loose. It's picked up by Trimble, and they've got it back at the 14-yard line.
And Trimble not able to take advantage of that Marion Local fumble, as right now at halftime, it's Marion Local 13, Trimble nothing. This is the Division VII State Championship game, the final of 7 here over Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Marion Local trying to go back to back to back, as we have 5 teams trying to go back-to-back. 4 of them have already done it. Marion Local 1 half away from going back-to-back, and as I mentioned, making it 3 in a row and bring home another state championship to the Mighty Mac. I'll tell you, we've seen today with Coldwater and Marion Local why this conference is so tough, right?
Yeah, we always said, we said the regular season schedule is so difficult, the playoffs become easy. Coldwater showed it, and now it looks like Marion Local is going to do the same thing.
Let's take a look at some of the key players in the first half in this one, and we'll start with the team in the lead, and that's Marion Local and their quarterback, Adam Berkey. And we've definitely seen some signs of why he is so good so far in the first half.
Yeah, you watch him, he makes all the throws. He's 6'6", he's got a rocket of an arm, and it seems sometimes, again, like maybe the game's too easy for him. He had a few throws that should have been intercepted in this first half, a little nonchalant throws to the outside that I think it's because the game does come so easy to him, he takes for granted some of these throws.
I'm telling you what, I'm very impressed with what I see. And I'm even more impressed from the progression of last year. He was a standout, but right now he's matured physically, he's bigger, he still has that movement to get downfield and run, but you mentioned his arm. I mean, this is the best passing quarterback we've seen all weekend, and it's in Division VII. And I know he's a Division I recruit, but these comeback routes, these dig routes he's throwing, they're there, and they're there with zip, and they're right where they're supposed to be.
Let me throw this out at you, too, because, and we haven't talked about this yet at all, but, you see it in the NFL, quarterbacks that run more, and is it trickled down to high school football? Because we've seen a lot of quarterbacks in this tournament that run just as much as they pass, and we see it with him.
Absolutely, I believe so. And part of it is this spread offense. A lot of teams are going to the spread with wide receivers out on the field that spreads the defense out, and it creates running lanes. Very, very rarely do you see a quarterback at the high school level who's that statue-type passer who doesn't have the mobility and can't turn it upfield if he needs to.
And the funny thing is, this is actually a trend that started in high school and college and trickled up to the NFL. The NFL was the last one to jump on this bandwagon of running quarterbacks. So I'd say this one actually trickled up if that's possible.
Well, good point there. Yes. How about J.C. Guttemoller trying to showcase himself after not being able to last year? He has the touchdown, has the fumble. What are your thoughts on his first half?
I think he's an excellent running back. 3 carries last year, and so far he has shown that. What I think Marion Local needs to do is what they did on that first touchdown. As we're going to see, well, this is him running the football. The first touchdown where they got it out on that backside screen, and they need to get it to him in space because he's very quick. Now here's the play right here. Watch how quick he is, and makes people miss, which is very impressive.
Another thing, too, is it looks like he put a little bit of weight on from last year. He looks a little bulkier, a little more sturdier. He's finishing all his runs going forward. I've not seen him yet take a hit and go backwards on any of his runs today.
And when we talk about Trimble, would you guys agree that if they are going to come back in this game, it's a guy we featured in the pregame show, and it's Connor Stanley?
Absolutely, and Coach Farah said it. We're going to put the ball in his hands, and he's going to win or lose the football game for us. And so far, Stanley has shown up. There's that one obvious error on the interception. But I said he throws a great deep ball. He gives his receivers a chance. Yeah. And let's not forget about his contributions on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, the kid's coming up and laying the wood to some guys on defense also. And, that one interception, I'm going to give him credit because at least he's trying to make something happen. This kid is an ultimate competitor, and you can see it in everything he does. He will not go down with the first hit, and he will not, give up on a play till the last possible minute.
Yeah, certainly he's trying to make a play. The unfortunate part is it didn't work out. It's an interception
Yeah.
against Marion Local. You can't let that happen
No.
against such a great team like that. But one thing maybe we're seeing, this tough schedule that Trimble had to play to get to this